It's been a long time, but we're finally getting more details about Pokémon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. However, none of it has been a major revelation, but that's why we have the old analysis machine. There might be only a few scant details in the trailer, but there's still plenty of secrets and hidden details to discover in that trailer, as well as the newly released Alola map. So let's dive in and see what this Ultra take on Alola has to offer. Right off the bat, we see the 3 starters crowding around your trainer, but this is an immediate difference as before they were introduced in the center of Iki Town. So why is it different this time around? We know Hala is still based in this tiny village as well thanks to the Japanese trailer. He can be seen here behind your trainer as you receive the new Z Power Ring. This likely takes place at the same time you receive the Z Ring in the original game. But there are some changes such as the Executor in the background along with Kukui. As we'll see through this analysis, there are many more Pokemon seen wandering the world like NPCs in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But before we move on, let's take a closer look at the Z Power Ring. It has a new black design rather than white, and the Pokemon website states that it's able to use even more varieties of Z moves, including special ones for specific Pokemon. And we've already seen an example of this thanks to the new trailer shown during the Pokemon World Championships opening ceremony. Como-O will have the new Z move Clangorous Soul Blaze, which requires clanging scales as its base move. It's able to attack multiple opponents on the field for massive damage, and afterward raises all of Como-O's stats by 1 level, making for an extremely potent new Z move. Returning to the starters though, the Japanese trailer also showed exactly where the choice is made. And indeed, rather than the central platform, it's next to a fence overlooking the ocean. How different could the setup for choosing your starter be? Will we still meet Lily and Tapu Koko? Or does that stay the same and instead we have to head towards town to find Hala? Or maybe we have to find the starters ourselves before being given the choice. It's a small example, but it gives a slightly better idea of how things will be remixed in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Continuing on, we next see the trainer running around Rockruff on Route 1, but it doesn't seem to be with you. The way it pivots makes us think it's just a Rockruff in the road that you can interact with, the same way we saw a Wingull appear to follow you, but not really. And remember, we did see an Executor in the background before. Pokemon are going to populate the overworld much more than we've ever seen before, and as much as we'd love to see Pokemon actually following your trainer, there hasn't been solid enough evidence of it, but the trailers do seem to be hinting at it quite a bit. The next scene shows what seems to be a brand new location, a clearing in a forest at the end of a path. Nearby is someone in a rice hat that's a completely new kind of NPC, and we think it may be a new trainer type as the Japanese trailer shows this location but from even farther back, where we see another person that looks just like this. The bigger question is, what could this place be? Could you find some kind of special Pokemon here, or is it the battleground against a totem Pokemon as part of a new trial? We simply don't have enough information to say for sure yet. The other location shown is much easier to place, Executor Island, and this time the Executor can be seen in the overworld rather than simply encountering them in battle. It once again shows that more Pokemon will be seen around Alola as part of this remix. But these changes also apply to the trainers of Alola. There's a quick shot of Kahili. In the original Sun and Moon, she couldn't be encountered outside of the Elite Four or the Hano Grand Resort. Here, she seems to be in a cave and doesn't possess her Z-Ring, so it looks like Kahili will return before the player reaches the Elite Four this time around. It doesn't appear like she's a trial captain, but she is teaching a Z move, likely for flying types or maybe even a specific flying Pokemon. Either way, she will have a new role, though we still believe she'll be part of the Elite Four. Kahili isn't the only character getting a slightly bigger role in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Ryuki was never met during the main game and instead was one of the 10 characters you could defend your champion title against. He's a dragon trainer and former musical star that came to Alola to spread his fame in the hope of gaining more fans. Presumably he's trying to do the same thing here, but it's his location that has us curious. There are other normal trainers around him in a building we've never seen before. However, it's lined with trash cans, just like they were in Lieutenant Surge's gym. Could there be some kind of gym challenge this time around? There doesn't seem to be a theme here though. A black belt is in the distance while a beauty is to the left of your trainer, So maybe it's some kind of other challenge that harkens back to gyms of the past? We really can't say for sure though. We then see an Alolan Vulpix get treated by the Aether Foundation in one of their mobile care units. It only focuses on the Vulpix, but perhaps we'll see more of Aether's altruistic qualities this time around. It seems unlikely, but it could happen. The last new element we see in the trailer is that the empty lot in Kahili City has indeed been filled with a new building. It looks like a kind of studio. There's a camera on a tripod that can be seen in one window, while the other contains a pink 3DS-like object that could also be a double mirror. The sign appears to show a Rockruff with a bow tie. Could this be the location of the newly announced photo club that Game Informer showed off? The photo club allows players to pose with their Pokémon in various outfits and even performing the various Z moves. The photo can then be decorated and more options become available as the game progresses. It's basically a way of showing your bond with your friends online. It's mentioned that there are some situations that allow players to quickly go into the mode, making it seem like a physical location is necessary. However, this could also simply be a new option in the menu in order to take the photos anytime you want. We don't think so though, considering the camera in the window. The question is whether there will be multiple photo club locations around Alola, or if players have to return to Kahili City to access it. We've seen a few of the changes coming to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but the biggest indication of what's different is the newly released map of Alola. Comparing it to the one from Sun and Moon really shows us how things have changed. The most obvious change though is that the map is painted with an orange sunset hue, giving most of the locations a washed out appearance. But that's just an overall example. Let's break it down further as we go from island to island, and from the outset, the opening areas of Melee Island haven't changed that much. Your house is still the same, as is Iki Town and Professor Kukui's lab. The only difference in this area is that the sandbar to the north has grown larger, which could indicate a lower tide. However, the sandbars around Kukui's lab are no more exposed than before. Somehow the land has been pushed up. Moving to Kahili City, we see how the empty lot next to the Malasada shop has been filled. Naturally, since it's the new location of what seems to be the photo club. But even the Malasada shop has been given a new sign, while the shopping center has also received a slight redesign. What these changes to the buildings could mean though, we're not sure. Have the functions of the shops themselves also changed in some way? The final change we could find on Melee Island is the appearance of a new sandbar along with a cave just beyond the motel. We can even spot a small path leading down to this new beach. Could there be new Pokémon to find here, or maybe even a trial? Continuing on to Akala Island, Hey City has also had one of its empty lots filled, but it doesn't seem to have the same design as the photo club in Kahili. So either the photo club will have a different appearance in each city, or every empty lot will have something different for players to experience. Perhaps one of these is where you'll meet Ryuki. Beyond the formerly empty lot, there's also a new beach behind the Tidesong Hotel, along with what might be a beach house on it. And the Dimensional Research Lab has been slightly redesigned with an extra smaller floor. More changes can be found to the south in Koni City, where it had one of its empty lots filled, while the roof of Lana's house has been slightly changed. The map also now reflects that there's another arch on the far side of the city near the lighthouse. And finally, a new building has appeared in Royal Avenue next to the Malasada shop. It's been very consistent at having new buildings wherever construction materials were found in the original games. The final difference on Akala Island is the lack of steam rising from Wela Volcano. What could be happening that's cooled it? Going to Ula Ula Island, we can see that the empty lot in Mali City has a new building, while the rain and mist on the way to and in Po Town seems to have cleared up. The summit of Mount Lanakila also shows the Pokemon League, though like the Arch in Koni, this is likely just a normal update to the map rather than a hint at something new. But there has been another change as the cloud cover around the mountain has shifted and there now seems to be a new landmass on the right, near the elevator to the top. What new sights could be seen there? Finally, there's a new building on the rightmost beach of the island that could be one of the Aether Foundation's trailers. Pony Island has the fewest changes on the map, just a rock formation that now surrounds the Pony Breaker coast. And though it has the fewest changes, it does have the biggest, the huge ultra wormhole that seems to be covering the island in a dark energy. Opening wormholes like this was a major goal of the villain in Sun and Moon, but rather than several small ones, it looks like it might only be this huge hole. What could have caused it? Well, it's likely tied to Necrozma in some way. Even the Pokemon website says the story will unfold on a grand scale with Solgaleo, Lunala, and Necrozma at its center. Secrets about Necrozma in the Alola region, not previously known, will come to light as well. So it seems we'll likely learn more about Necrozma's connection to the Ultra Beasts and why it's able to merge with either Solgaleo or Lunala. There's even a new screenshot of the trainer confronting Necrozma at the altar of the sun. But we also wonder if Necrozma itself will have a new form. In the Japanese trailer just before the box art appears, we can clearly see the background, and at the center is a kind of star. That star has eyes that are reminiscent of this legendary Pokemon, though it looks a bit cross-eyed. Could Necrozma have some kind of light form that may be revealed in time? It's still difficult to say how different Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will be to the original Alola adventures. There does seem to be at least a few changes to the map to make exploration more than just the same. But what will the further inclusion of Kahili and Ryuki add? And how will Necrozma and the Ultra Beast change the story? All we can do is wait for more details to arrive. But if we missed anything, be sure to let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe to GameXplain for more on Pokemon and other things gaming.